So this is the TC Electronic Ditto Looper X2. It's one of 6 looper pedals that TC Electronic makes. They all have somewhat unique features. This one in particular has this FX switch where you can flip it up and it allows you to reverse a loop that you've played, which is a really interesting sound. Kind of a record being spun backwards kind of sound. And then it also allows you to play at half speed, also kind of an interesting sound. You can store your loops or store a loop and recall it if you so choose. I tend to use this, well, I only use this at home for a couple of purposes. One, to set up practice loops and try out different ideas, or to create online content. So I create a backing track for myself and then, play to it and then post it to, Instagram or what have you. Just because I don't use those features doesn't mean they're not awesome. It's just not what I use it for. So outside of those features, it's just a very straightforward, easy to use loop pedal. Maybe best thing is just for me just to set up a loop here and then show you the features as I go. So this is the record button. This starts the loop. So you start this on the downbeat of whatever you're trying to record, and then we'll go from there. So. So that's pretty decent for our purposes. So now it's still in record mode. So anything that I would play on my bass would actually go onto this individual loop. If I hit the green button, now I can play over it freely and not record. As soon as I hit this again, it will go back to record, and then I can add to the loop. Every time I do that, though, it becomes a separate layer of the loop. You only have one level of undo, so as you go further and further down the rabbit hole of building the loop, you have to be sure that each part you added you like. Now, you can set up a bass groove like this and then record over and over and over again to have a really dense part, and then you can back out of that and erase everything, or at least mute everything until you come back all the way to the original loop. So there are different ways to do it. You just have to kind of operate within the parameters of what the pedal will allow you to do. So now let's build on it. So you can just hit it anywhere, in the cycle. You don't have to hit it again at the beginning of the loop. You can just add wherever you so choose. And then you just listen back and make sure that it's something that you like. Sounds great. So now if I was to hold this pedal, I could erase those harmonics. Now I'm going to add another layer, and once I commit to that layer, I won't be able to erase the harmonics anymore. So let's add a little part here. So let's listen back and see if we like that. Okay, cool. Good enough for jazz, we'll say. So now I've locked that in. I can't go back and erase the harmonics. I could go back and undo the slap part if I wanted to. Now I'll add a quick harmony part. And so you can wait and let it go back around. You don't have to. So now the loop's pretty dense. I don't need to add any more parts. At this point, I would just use it to play over. You can adjust the volume of the loop here with this giant knob. I find that once you've added this many parts, it tends to overshadow your bass. So the easiest way to play over it is to, bring it down a little bit and then solo over it a little bit. So there you go. Now this is your, when it's playing, this is your start button, this is your stop button. So if you want it to play again, great. And then just to demonstrate, if I hold this down, I can get rid of the last thing I did, which were those harmony parts. Now, if I'm tired of the loop and I want to get rid of it, I can just hold down this. As soon as that stops flashing, it's gone. And then you start a new loop. So again, it's a very straightforward, easy to use looper pedal. I really dig it. I like it because it has two switches. I find that much more comfortable to go back and forth and much more intuitive than trying to use a single switch. But to each his or her own. They have 6 of these pedals, so you can look at each one and figure out exactly what you want to use it for, and I'm sure that they have one that will work for you. So a little amendment to this video. The one thing I forgot was to show you how to redo. So I just set up a quick loop. If I hit a loop that I'm playing, this is a bass line with a little melody on top. If I hold this, it takes that melody out. If I hold it again, it puts the melody back in. So that's how you redo. So important little piece of information. Again, Ditto Looper X2. Check it out.